Hey everybody, about to go live here. I think I got the audio working. Check. Alright. And I heard the audio just as I went live here. I gotta mute my computer's audio. Alright, yeah, and I have, so this is the Patreon supporter list across the top. I'm gonna try to let it play during a live stream, right? That seems pretty, like a pretty awesome thing, right? So if you're a Patreon supporter, hopefully you see your name up there. It actually, a lot of the things are covering it for me, but that's all right. And I tried really hard to make it look super cool, like it was coming out of the Nerdlings logo. Yeah, I put like 35 seconds of thought into it. Anyway, hello everybody. I hope that your day is going well. Hello, Terry and Bite Moose. So today my family is celebrating my wife's birthday. Her birthday was actually yesterday, but she had to work a 10-hour shift yesterday. And so, yeah, we're celebrating today. We had brunch, had a nice breakfast burrito lunch, and then we are having pizza and a movie later here at the house. So if you don't know, I don't know how long you've been with me, but several years ago, my wife was gone for a week to camp. Like she was like a camp counselor in a cabin, and 21 again. What is 21 again? I missed it. Doggone it. Anyway, um, so I carved. We have a bay window in our front room. If you've seen pictures of me taking pictures of the dogs, they usually lay in the bay window there. So we have a bay window, and up above, I don't know what that would be called, like above the window. But anyway, I went to the store and bought a sawzall and all sorts of equipment, cut a giant hole. There was blown in insulation that fell all over the place. But I mounted a screen up there, one of the like screens that like electronic, like roll up and down, like movie screen. And it is acoustically transparent, which is a thing. And so then I have mounted up there as well on the top a big audio bar. What are they? A sound bar? I guess that's what they're called. It's a Sonos sound bar. And then in the room, I also have like, rear, right, and left speakers and a subwoofer. And then on the back wall of that room, I mounted this projector. So you can't tell it's there because I like painted it black and like it was just like a little slot. And then you can pop the screen down and turn the lights off, and it's basically this enormous movie theater going on in our living room. So we don't use it often, but it's honestly pretty great. Like I'm trying to think how big it would be. It's probably 100 inches, 120 inches, probably 120 inches. Yeah, probably about 120-inch screen. So that's yeah, that's what we're watching tonight. Or I don't know what we're watching tonight, but we're gonna watch a movie tonight and have pizza for my wife's birthday. But I'm doing this because I enjoy this, and I didn't really have any plans on what to cover today. But I still like to live stream. So hello everybody. I'm not sure how many people are here. It looks like we have 3 people here. That's cool. Plus myself. Um, and where's my little thing to chat with? I don't have. Oh, it's over here. Oh, there we go. Take a week to play one game of Pong. Yeah, pretty much. It is pretty. It's pretty neat that the screen was the exact size of the window. And so again, I'm really bad with measurements like that, but like I could completely lay down. So I'm a 6-footer. I could lay down completely across the thing, and that wouldn't be, and there'd still be room on both sides. And I don't know what that would be like diagonally 16 by 9, but it's it fills the whole bay window. So it's basically the whole wall, but it's neat because it doesn't take up a wall of the room because it's just the window. And so yeah, we pull the blinds down, otherwise you get to see a backwards view of the movie in the front yard, which is kind of funny because we've done that too. But yeah, it works out really well. And the thing that I'm so proud of is I got it installed and then painted so you can't really tell that anything's going on. And then like, cause it's all black, and then like the bottom of the screen has like a black, like plastic, like weight, like, the thing, on the bottom, the weight. and it's black. So when it goes up, it just kind of like seals off the spot. So it just looks like the top of the window is black and it looks normal. So, but I did all that before my wife got back. So, yeah, yeah. Echo hello. Is that another hello or am I echoing? Am I echoing? I hope I'm not echoing. I could be echoing. I might be echoing. If I'm echoing, let me know. Otherwise, I will just say hello one more time. Hello, because I don't think I'm echoing. Martin, hello. What is happening this week? So, oh, good. I'm glad the sound is okay. So you'll probably notice that I have not done that dumb video. I really, really, really dislike SE Linux, security enhanced Linux, and it's fine. I mean, I get why it exists, and I'm sure that it provides a wonderful service. I just hate SE Linux so much. I just truly do. And I don't know if it's because I don't have systems with people that log in anymore. It's just servers, so there aren't people that log in. Plus, I'll generally have a single purpose server or container. And so all of the nuances of SE Linux are just, it feels like a lot of work for a little bit of maybe unnecessary security, if that makes sense. So anyway. Ba-bum-bum. Oh, not. Oh, okay. Echo hello. Echo hello. You didn't use quotes, man. Had you used quotes, you don't need to use quotes, I know, but then I would have gotten it. Or if you would have used like different font, but you can't do that in the chat. So I get it though. Echo hello. Yeah. While true, do echo hello back. Done. Control C. Wow, that got nerdy quick. Mason, no, I don't know that you're late. I guess a couple minutes late, but you didn't miss anything. I don't think we didn't do anything, did we? No. Oh yeah, getting some beginner all-purpose. Beginner all-purpose symbolic instruction code. Wow, I worried myself. I didn't think I was going to be able to pull that up, but yeah, a little bit basic there. You don't. Yeah, you're right. You don't need quotes at all, and it would have worked just fine. But had you done that, I might have gotten it. Like, had you quoted, I might have been like, "Oh, this is a script greeting. This is a scripted greeting." So yeah. Yeah. So what's happening this week? I didn't do SE Linux, but I will. I will get it done. Hopefully early in the week. I mean, I have all the. I like refreshed my memory, and during the whole memory refresh, I'm like, yep. I really don't like SE Linux. I've never once used it in production. The first thing I do is turn SE Linux off on a system, which I know is not what you want to hear from somebody teaching a security section, but man, I just think it's such a pain in the butt. Where you have like the users and the types and all the, I don't even remember all the things. I'm gonna have to like look at my notes while I do it, because looking at all the custom things, it's just a pain in the butt. Just a pain in the butt. App Armor is not much better. I don't like App Armor either, which is probably why you may not want me to do the Security Plus exam. I don't know. Maybe I'd be a good person to do the Security Plus exam, because I'd be like, all right, this is stupid. Yeah. Anyway. I'm not far from 10,000. It's true. What are we up to? There's probably like a thing I could put up there to like get a running tally or whatever. Go to the dashboard and see. 9,968. So we have 32 people to go. And then we will have 10,000 subscribers to the channel, which is so cool. So probably another week, I guess. I don't know. Is that a week? So that might be less than a week. Yeah, it should be less than a week, I think, if I could ever release a video. I'm still still completely baffled by shorts. Sometimes I'll do a short and it'll do really well. Sometimes I'll do a short and I think, oh, that was clever, and it just bombs totally. So I do not understand shorts yet. Same thing with I don't know why. I guess if you have a ton of followers on TikTok, it can be monetized. But TikTok for me has just been a weird sort of, like, I don't get it. I'll like throw things up there, but I don't really get it. But yeah, I want YouTube Shorts to be part of the channel, and I have allowed myself to do a little bit less tech stuff on there. Obviously, like my headache videos on the main channel. I don't know. I don't know. But this week I'm also getting another organization device, an e-ink thing. An e-ink. Oh, I should do a review too. It's a Supernote A5X. So it's basically a digital notebook that I hope to use a lot. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's the thing too. I don't I don't get it either. They're not as much fun to make, and they feel real hit or miss. Like I said, I haven't figured out what makes one go. I've never had anything go viral in my life, but like something get 1,000 views versus 30 views. I haven't figured out the difference, other than I think some of it might just be dumb luck, where because I can't figure out a rhyme or reason why some do really good and some don't. But yeah, they're addictive, and I find that the TikTok algorithm is pretty good for keeping me entertained, as much as I hate to admit it. For me, it's pretty much always singing songs, stand-up comedians, and occasionally ADHD content. Oh, and Gen X stuff. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I know that it's not all that complicated. It's basically you watch something and they'll show you something that's similarly themed, but it's interesting. I almost like look at the algorithm or see what TikTok feeds me to like do some self-discovery, like, oh, apparently I enjoy singing shows because that's the bulk of what's there, and comedians. So yeah, it is, and it's so easy just to go, and they're usually entertaining. So yeah, but this week I'll have a super note, and I hope to use it. I want to use it for the reason I want a super note is because they keep making it better. Like the software development is really really open, and I like that. Also, um, you can read ebooks on there pretty well, and I'm hoping that I actually just use it, because I find myself, with paper stuff that I jot things on, but then they're all over the place. And like I got a Rocket book a while back. Have you seen a Rocket book? Have I talked about the Rocket book before? It's an interesting idea. It's like so it like comes with, like, you can write on it, and there's like different templates and stuff, and then you like there's like QR codes. You take a picture of it and then you erase it and reuse it. But that seems like a lot of work to me, like erasing an entire notebook and reusing it. So we'll see how it goes. Anybody a note taker? Anybody do bullet journaling or anything like that? About my shirts, yes. Yeah, the headache was because there was a storm coming. I always get really bad headaches when there's a big weather change happening. And yeah, I had a headache all day. It rained. It started raining actually while I was shooting the video in the parking lot. It rained for a bit, and then the next day I was mostly fine. I don't understand how, well, like the video, how a slight change in pressure can cause such misery, but it's just, medicine doesn't help. It's just miserable. It's not, it's not like a migraine. I've had, I suffer from migraines, and I haven't had one in quite a while. Thank goodness, knock on wood. But the rain headache pain is nothing like migraine pain. I mean, I've gone to the hospital with migraines. That's just miserable. It's just an uncomfortable kind of headache whenever it rains. Mason, 40 years, I still can't take notes. Yeah, that's been my thing too, where I'm just not a good note taker. But here's the deal. I want to, I really truly want to. I want to write stuff down. I want to have a journal. just to so that I can look back. I see all the advantages that everybody talks about from journaling and from, taking notes and all that stuff, and I haven't been able to. And it's silly for me to think that a new toy will make me do it, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe the guilt of purchasing an e-ink tablet will force me to do it. But I also do want to use it for like reading books too. And I like an e-ink device without a backlight for reading books. It just seems more like paper, so we'll see. I guess that's it. Next weekend. So this week I will be hopefully doing an interview with my friend Kyle Rankin about his new book. But I don't know because he has some family things going on. So he might not be. In fact, I'm almost positive he won't be available. No, that probably won't happen. I just obviously just realized that. Um, oh, that's going to suck. So I have to figure out because next Sunday I will be in a cabin with my wife. Actually, this time of day we will still be driving because it's a 5-hour drive to get there. But I won't be doing a live stream next weekend. So either I'll have something premiere or not. I don't know. But next weekend we won't be doing a live stream. But man, yeah, I got to figure out what I was going to do about Kyle. Do I use one of the big boys for my ebooks? Like the sales places? Is that what you're talking about, or a device? Because I'm going to use the big device for reading. Because my eyes are getting old. I like to read. I like to read large letters. Um, the the Supernote has the Kindle app, which I like, because I can take ebooks that I get from anywhere. As long as I can strip off the DRM, I can mail it to my Kindle account, and then it shows up there. And my wife actually, because she works at the bookstore, she gets a lot of ARCs that are ebooks. A lot of ARCs now. I mean, she gets a lot of paper ARCs. As ARCs are advanced reader copies. If you're not in the book world. But a lot of the ARCs she gets now are ebooks, and the system that bookstores have for getting them integrates really well with Kindle because you just enter your Kindle email address and then they will email the EPUB to your email address and it gets loaded automatically on your Kindle. And so that's really slick. And that's what I'll be doing. The A5X um, has a 10.3-inch screen, which is pretty big. It's like almost a standard size notebook. And I look forward to reading on that. So I'm going to be reading that with a Kindle app, even if they're not Kindle books. I'll just email the EPUBs to myself because wherever I get EPUBs from, whether I like buy them individually or I've stripped the DRM off. Oh gosh, lots of books over the years. But anyway, yeah, that's the thing. And I do have a lot of books. Yeah, so our house is so full of books. It was before my wife worked at the bookstore, and now even more so because we just get so many books. We get some of them for free, but also just in that close proximity, it's hard not to purchase books constantly. The ones that you see, I'm looking around, are almost all science fiction, fantasy, some straight up fiction, YA, but mostly science fiction, fantasy. And then like over here, you can't really see because I got garbage, but there's a little square of tech books down there, like oh no, oh yeah, they are down there still. And then I have I have another bookshelf on that wall that you can't see. And there are some Linux and tech books over there, JavaScript book, it looks like. And also this pile. Ooh, I'm not good at this. This is just a pile of books right there. I got all Kyle Rankin's books out the other day. I was looking at them. So those are tech books. Oh, looks like I have a Wicked Cool Shell Scripts that's just sitting in the middle of the room. So they're mostly sci-fi fantasy books that I like to read. I'm a huge Kevin Hearn fan. These are all Kevin Hearn books. These are some like numbered Subterranean Press books of his, and then this is the same series. This is the older run of it. Jim Butcher. If you haven't read the Codex Alera series by Jim Butcher, it's annoyingly good. he wrote it on a dare or a bet. Somebody bet he couldn't write a book about combining the Roman Empire and Pokemon, and he ended up writing this whole 6-book series that's just really good. And I got some Isaac Asimov, some Terry Pratchett, a couple shelves of Terry Pratchett, a bunch of Brandon Sanderson, Jim Butcher, the Dresden Files, some other random books, and then those are more. I have a bunch of John Scalzi books. A lot of them are signed. I was John Scalzi's cat on Twitter for a long time. So I have a lot of. And when our house burned down, John actually sent me a whole bunch of his books signed to kind of rebuild my book collection, which is really nice. And then, yeah, just a bunch of random books up there. Fourth Wing is a book that was released this year. So this isn't a book review thing. This is just a cool book thing. So Fourth Wing, she's a writer who had written like romance novels, but this is a straight up fantasy book. There is like one romantic encounter, but it's not a romance book at all. It's about dragons, but this is the first edition, and the first edition had this cool thing where the sides are like sprayed, and then there's dragon outlines. And the book was so incredibly popular that this first edition sold out like instantly. So you can't even get. I mean, you can get them used, but they were going for like hundreds of dollars, which is crazy. So yeah, we got this right away. This is a really good book, by the way. And yeah, the rest is just sci-fi fantasy, depending on what mood I'm in. I just finished an Adrian Tchaikovsky book, or series even. They are, I listened to it. Got me talking about books now. Let's see. It was, the books that I just finished are Shards of Earth. What is the name of the? No, I don't want that. Yes, cancel. Oh, I just want to see the book. It is title details. Dang it. It's hard to come up with the series is called The Final Architecture. My goodness, that took a long time to figure out. But Adrian Tchaikovsky, I love his stuff because he has such a knack for nailing the concept of an alien mind. And this is a really good sci-fi series, 3 books and done. Anyway, yeah, it's good. That's what I like to read, is sci-fi or fantasy, depending. I kind of get in moods like, oh, I want more swords and magic, or I want more spaceships and lasers, and so it kind of depends. I go back and forth. Who knows? The Metro books. Oh, I haven't read Metro books. I'm gonna write that down on my handy dandy notebook. Is Metro books, is that a series? To look that up. CISO, am I saying that correctly? CISO? I don't, I feel like I said that very wrong, so I apologize, but hello. Glad to have you here. Yeah, any other book recommendations? Because I just finished a trilogy, so if anybody has a book they think, oh, Sean would love this book, he would love it so much, let me know, because it's hard to get into another series when you finish a series. I don't know if anybody else has that, but before this, I finished, I reread the Licanius trilogy, because the 3rd book had come out and I hadn't read the first 2 in a long time. So I read the first 2 and then I read the 3rd one. And then I know I talked about this in the live stream, but then the 3rd one had this amazing synopsis. So I didn't need to read the first 2 again. But after I was done with it, it's hard to get into something else because that's like your brain's in that mode. So if I read fantasy, sometimes I then just feel like I have to go into something like science fiction or nonfiction, just because my brain, like any other fantasy, would feel weird. Like, wait, no, what world am I in, kind of thing. So anyway, 3 books, post-apocalyptic. Oh, okay, yeah, I wrote that down. If you like post-apocalyptic stuff, have you read Helldivers? And there's a new Helldivers book, which I thought the series was finished, um, but apparently not, because I think there's a new Helldivers that I have not read, and that's another one where the narrator is R.C. Bray. R.C. Bray. I think R.C. Bray has his own con. Like there's an R.C. Bray con, I think. He's just quite an incredible narrator. But he did the Helldivers series. It's really, really good. I enjoyed that. Post-apocalyptic for sure, if that's your jam. Nicholas, what is his name? Who did Helldivers? Nicholas somebody. Sandbury? Helldivers. Let me see. So I think it's not the game. No, the book. No, Helldivers book. It is by Nicholas Sainsbury. I was correct. Yeah, he tends to write everything in a post-apocalyptic world. I've read a couple of his series, but it's a really, really good series. The nice thing about Nicholas Sainsbury, I messaged him. Did I message him on Twitter or email, or I don't remember where it was? Had an online conversation with him, but he makes a point. He never kills the dog. So if that's something, if there's a dog's not going to die. So I really appreciate that about his stuff. Post-apocalyptic, but the dog never dies. So Christopher, I just want to know, help me pass Linux Essentials test. All right. The video series is super helpful. Oh, thank you. I am super glad to hear that. Hopefully you still like Linux as well. If you go through the Linux Essential stuff, whether you take the exam or not, if you enjoy it, boy, it's a good sign for the future, because Linux, it's awesome. It has become a love of mine, but I really like the Linux Essential stuff because it's such a good entry to the world of Linux, even if you're not a Linux person at all. But congrats, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, and it looks like you're getting kudos from others too, so that's cool. Yeah. I missed the boom petition, but does this work? Hold on and see. There wasn't even a joke, but I have a sound effect, so I want to be able to use it. All right, so I got the Metro series. I'm gonna look that up. Any other series? Anybody? Oh, there's another one. I missed it. Okay. Oh. Never read a book for 36 years when I just bought a book. Oh, Girl on a Train. Nice. Tech people. Oh, yeah. So, this is not the one. Sorry. No, that's not the one I meant to either. There we go. It disappears after a while and I can't see it, so I want to tag it so I don't forget what I'm talking about. I have not read Girl on a Train. I like to go into nonfiction as well. I also kind of have a love of some memoirs, which I never thought I would be a memoir guy. But some funny memoirs like Jenny Lawson, the bloggist. I just love reading her stuff. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like having a conversation with an old friend about old times. So if you ever looking just for some nice, fun, easy reading, I highly recommend Jenny Lawson's memoirs. They're great. But yeah, I tend to read mostly science fiction or fantasy, though, if I'm going to be honest. Let's see, the Fuel series, sci-fi and lighthearted. I like lighthearted too. Phule series. Is that done? Does anybody is the Fuel series done? I ask because I tend to always get into series when they're half done, and then I get frustrated because like I want to read the next one and it's not out, and by the time it's out, I've forgotten. So yeah. Mason going for the LPIC 1. Nice. LPIC 1 and Linux Plus, I mean, everybody probably knows, used to be the same exact exams. You would take them and you could get both exams for taking, or both certs for taking the same exams. But then CompTIA decided to split off from the LPI and do their own. And theirs is a single exam for the Linux Plus. But the content is very similar as far as like the depth of things that are covered. But LPIC 1 is still 2 exams. And cost-wise, I think the exams are about half as much as the Linux Plus exam. So, I mean, 2 exams at half the price versus 1 exam at the full price, it doesn't really, it's the same amount. But, yeah, but they're both pretty good. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, sounds like fools, not fuels. Okay, fools. It's done. All right. If I can find them, I take that as a challenge. My wife works at the bookstore. She can find some amazing things. Although oddly, sometimes the bookstore has like they can get some really rare and hard to find things at times, but then sometimes it's like, nope, we just can't get it anymore at all. And I'll like go on even a used book site like Thrift Books and find it right away. Or sometimes I've had to go to eBay, like for there was a particular book that was long since out of print. It was written by an indigenous an author up here. It was specifically about the tribe here in northern Michigan, and it had been out of print for a long time. But I did find a copy on eBay. So yeah, unless they're really super hard to find, we'll probably be able to find them. 6 books. That's awesome. Okay. I wish I had like some awesome news coming up, like, oh, this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, but I just don't. And, we're going to hit 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, which is cool, but I still don't know how to properly do, um, what's the Twitch thing? What's that thing called? Twitch? Yeah, Twitch. I still haven't figured out the Twitch thing, to be honest, because they make it clear that you can't multi-stream, but then other people do multi-stream. And I know we talked about it last week, and Scott named a couple of people that do multi-streaming on different platforms, and they're still Twitch like affiliates or whatever. But I don't know. What do I think about Twitter changing to X? I think it's so dumb. I mean, Twitter had the name and the logo to the point where, tweet has become a verb, right? Like it's probably in the dictionary to tweet. And probably one of the definitions is to like do a social media post. And he got rid of all that. I don't understand. I just don't understand. It it was Twitter, and I don't get it. I just don't get. I'm not a billionaire. I'm barely 100-aire. So I I just don't get it. I just think it was so dumb. So dumb. Oracle has free training and certification. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Very cool. I wonder what kind of training do they have? Like, I mean, obviously, probably for Oracle Linux, or is it for database stuff, or both? Or I'm curious. I mean, their Oracle Cloud offering for VMs is still amazingly generous, and I mean, you get a lot of server for absolutely nothing every month. So that's awesome. You can even get static public IPs, which is just fascinating. Uh, yeah, I don't know. There's been people who say now, it's I mean, X is often makes the SH sound. So, oh, do we call it that now? I, I've just heard people refer to it as Twitter, right? And not even like the platform formerly known as Twitter. When Prince changed his name to the symbol, it was like the artist formerly known as Prince. Um, no, it's just I don't get it. Why? I mean, I'm assuming it's because of like SpaceX or something. Like X is his thing. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to market. Yeah, because like X is trademarked for gaming by Microsoft, and some is it Meta in some other country has X trademarked for social media. And then, I mean, when you have money, you can do stuff, because same thing with the iOS app store. An app has to have a minimum 3 letters to be approved for the App Store. But somehow Elon Musk got an exemption from that in the Apple App Store because it's there with just the X. So it's just whatever. It's just so, I don't know. I just think it's so dumb. Yeah, I think this is probably more likely than anything. It was just to make people talk more about it. Like people stopped talking about Twitter, so he did something drastic to get people to talk about Twitter again. Um, but I don't know. Uh, yeah, it is definitely all about money. And if you have money, you can do dumb stuff, I guess. I mean, if I had $1 billion, I could change my name to X. I guess I could change my name to X now, but yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why you would want to change. Again, Twitter is the original microblogging social media platform. At least the one, not the original, but the one that became, a global success. Why you would want to take away what else did it have? I mean, just a user base. All it had is its user base and its recognizability. And now it only has half of its user base and no recognizability. So and it's just weird. Just weird. But yeah, trying to think anything else going on. This may be the least exciting live stream. But since there's not going to be one next week, that's a little bit depressing too. But anybody have any questions about stuff, Linux stuff? Or I always forget to ask if there's any questions. I can, ask me anything. It can be about books. It can be about Linux. It can be about why this is the best pen out there. I love this is a Fisher space pen, bullet pen. So when you put the cap on, it's this big, so it fits in even in your front pocket wonderfully. Open it up, it's full-size pen, and it's a Fisher space pen, so you can write on a wall, you can write upside down, you can write underwater. Every time I've been to space, I've been able to write with it, no problem. Of course, I've never been to space, but I'm sure it will write there too. So yeah, it's a great pen. I got any basic projects? So you gave me learning Bash. It just doesn't seem to stick. Yeah, let's see. Some projects for Bash. You could figure out a way to use Bash and Linux command line tools to scrape information off of a website and keep overwriting that data. So make a cron job to execute the Bash script that pulls data from a web page or something, and you could use tools like grep and awk and things like that to pare down a value. It could be something like air quality in your area. Find a website that has that and try to scrape that, or get the API from somewhere and use JQ on the command line to convert that JSON to a value, and then create a web page or something. That's the kind of fun thing I would do with Bash. Yeah, something like that. I find myself scraping things from output a lot using tools on the command line. So a Bash script of things like, awk and sed or grep strung together into multiple things, and renaming and moving them and massaging that data. So yeah, that there you go. That's my recommendation. What are my thoughts going forward on what you plan to do for the channel? Yeah, so I talked a little bit about this last week. I want to finish Linux Plus. That's got to be my focus. It's been so long. I just got to get it done, and I think the last sections will go much quicker because they are scripting and they're kind of fun, and I think they'll go quicker than the first sections. I just got to get past this last security objective, which I just hate with an undying passion. And after that, I think we have to branch into some projects to coincide with cert prep, because if it's just cert prep stuff, people will be really excited and they'll join, and then they'll get their cert, and then why would they ever come back? So yeah, I'm thinking maybe some projects. I don't know. But I have to get Linux Plus done first, but then I think some projects, and looking at software, usage, things like Proxmox. I mean, there's a lot of other channels like mine that do things like show how, all these different software things, and review them and show how I use them, show a use case, show how, things that go wrong, things that go right. And I did that for a little while after I did Linux Essentials. Like I talked about Uptime Kuma, and I talked about rclone, which I still use rclone, but Google Drive no longer offers unlimited storage. So like I've gone through a couple different iterations of how I do that. So probably videos just about being a nerd and using computers for projects to make life easier, that sort of a thing. How I use Home Assistant as like uh, a way to automate things other than just my house, like more than just light switches. Like that's how I switch cameras with Birdcam, is using triggers and webhooks with Home Assistant. And I just use Home Assistant as my main way to trigger changes and automations in my house and in some projects. So yeah, things like that. I think that's the kind of thing that I'll do. Oh, Pac-Man in the command line. That's cool. I'll already have to go with Linux Plus. We have to do here. Let's look at it together. I think I have maybe I don't have it open. Snarko plus objectives. All right. Let's go down here. Hello. Okay. So, scooch it over there. So we have done all the way. We did all the ones. We're only done two, but we have to do this one. This is the one with SE Linux. Again, I hate SE Linux. I don't know. I might just point to my Linux Essentials video on set user ID, set group ID, sticky bit, because I did a video on those specifically for the Linux Essentials course. Maybe I'll just plop that in here because I covered it all pretty well there. App Armor. So I'm thinking this is going to be a video on its own, SE Linux. Depending on how long it takes, maybe I'll just talk about App Armor in there as well. So App Armor and SE Linux. And then talk about access control lists while we cover all of these commands. So I'm looking at maybe two videos, maybe three. Two if I point to the other one for this. And then it's like this stuff is fun, right? I mean, like all this shell script elements, like what all these redirects mean. Like this could just be one video where I talk about all these cool tools. I'm gonna just constantly point to like my bash scripting course because we talk about a lot of the stuff in that course as well. And then containers like Docker containers and LXD containers. That's one video. How to use Git. This is just another, like a single video. We have Ansible. I'm just going to, summarize common infrastructure code technologies, not learn them, but talk about the difference and how they work. Advanced Git topics. That's new. I don't think that was there before. This is basically just a lot of talking head stuff. And when all these are listed, my instant thing is, there's a lot to teach about, but I have to remember it's summarize the concepts. This is not how to do all of these things. It's how to what they mean and how to do them. So this is probably 2 videos maybe. And then we're all the way down to troubleshooting. These are the tough ones. I have to set up like a broken computer and fix it. But a couple videos there, couple videos there, and then I don't know. We still got quite a bit, I guess. But I feel like the stuff that's left goes quicker than some of this stuff up here because it's just basic Linux stuff that if you have to describe it from the word go and expect no understanding, it takes a long time. So anyway, that's where we are. That's where we are. It's a big course. Let's see. Yes, I have experience on Bash or other programming languages as well. It's hard for me even to consider Bash programming, but I guess it is. I do a lot of Bash scripting before DevOps was even a thing, just because if I type it over and over, I should just have a script do it, right? And so uh, I just think of bash scripting as doing shortcuts with system administration. But I learned PHP for a job that I had. I wrote a really, really robust, well, I wrote a big PHP program, single use. It wasn't anything that got distributed anywhere else. And now for my current job, I wrote a PHP like dashboard that pulls information from various things, does lots of calculations, and it's just like a thing for me to monitor my day-to-day job. So I won't show you, but yeah. And then part of that, I had to use Python because there are some things in PHP that are difficult to do, and I can't even think of them off the top of my head. And with Python, it was a lot easier. So some of the queries that I have to pull into my big PHP monitoring dashboard, I get from a Python script. So a little bit of Python, quite a bit of PHP, and yeah, Bash scripting most days for all sorts of stuff. What's in the diet folder on my thing? It is. I'll just read it to you. My Fitness Pal, my Fitbit dashboard. I don't have a Fitbit anymore. My Zone. Let's just pull it down. What the heck? Yeah, this is when I was looking up Helldivers. Yeah, my Fitness Pal. Fitbit I don't have anymore. My Zone 2 was this device that when I took a college class at the local university, you would wear this like chest monitor thing, and it would check your heart rate to make sure that you did enough exercise to pass the class. Like you just had to get like a certain, however it scored it. But I've been on blood pressure medicine for a very long time, and one of the blood pressure medicines I have reduces your heart rate. As that's like one of the ways it reduces your blood pressure is to slow down your heart rate. And so my heart rate would never get up high enough to trigger the thing that said I was exercising. So they had to adjust it for me, which was kind of funny. So anyway, that's My Zone. Daily Mile. I tried to be a runner multiple times in my life, and I am not. But that was the app that I connected with some friends with who were runners. Withings. I have a scale that is Withings compliant. I have a blood pressure cuff. I have a thermometer. I have a sleep monitor mat that goes underneath my mattress, and that's all Withings branded, so that's there. Treadmill pace conversions, again, when I was trying to be a runner. And apparently, somehow I got another My Zone 2.0 link. So yeah, that's the diet thing. That was it. Oh, I didn't change the screens. Oh man. Well, there it is. Yeah, so my Fitness Pal, Fitbit, Withings. Yeah, that was it. I moved the thing down there and I didn't change the cameras because I am not a professional streamer. All right, close that. Oh, I lost my mouse. There we go. Do I have a preference to automate building Linux servers? Script or tools available? Yes. I haven't had a job where I build a lot of servers on a regular basis. If I do automation these days, it's going to be with Ansible. I just love Ansible. Ansible's so great. There's no client. You just have to have SSH. And then if you have Python, you can do other things. You know, if Python's on the client system, it can do more things. But even if you don't, you can even use Ansible on an embedded system that only has SSH because it will do raw commands and stuff. Ansible is just the cat's meow. I love Ansible so much. So yeah, if I'm going to do anything, it's going to be with Ansible on building a server. And I have, even on my current job, created some quick Ansible scripts to like update. Like I had to update a whole bunch of stuff in graphics tree, GPU drivers and stuff on like 15 different servers, and I didn't want to do it manually. A lot of times I would do it manually because it's kind of buggy hardware or buggy software, and so I didn't want to like try to automate my way into a nightmare. But in this case, it was mainly just doing a lot of command line stuff, so I did Ansible. So yeah, Ansible would be my answer there for the most part. Big Googling computer types, and one came up called Half and Catch Fire. A computer type show. Oh, computer type show. Half and Catch Fire. No, I've never heard of it. I don't know. Have to report back and let us know. Curious if the secret you use to stay positive and calm while creating a large course like Linux Plus. I'd make a joke about, oh, I just, you don't know what's in the coffee cup. But no, when I love that moment when somebody I'm teaching goes from nervous and scared and intimidated to understanding a concept and like owning that and no longer feeling foolish isn't really the word, but I just love when anybody I'm showing something gets that aha moment. And I really think that technology has this weird like thing where it just like, oh, it's so hard I could never figure it out, and that is just so not true. So uh, I think that I stay positive just by being excited to teach somebody something that they might not know. And as far as calm goes, I don't know. I mean, that's just my personality. You know, my personality is that. But I stay positive about it for the most part because I really just want people to get it. I want people to understand. I don't want it to be something that they're stressed about. I don't want people to be able to confidently say, you know what, I don't know, and not think that that makes them any less intelligent or capable. And so, yeah, that's why in Linux Plus, yeah, just take it piece by piece. I like the big courses. I like courses that have objectives because they already do the heavy lifting. When I would have to create courses on my own, like I created a Docker course, there might be Docker certification stuff now, but there wasn't when I created my Docker course for CBT Nuggets. It's just like trying to come up with like what to do and sketching out that outline. So that can be a little stressful, but I just do that in advance. And then, but with objectives already laid out, it's, you know, just follow along and take it piece by piece and not get too upset at myself when it takes so long to finish. Oh, all right. Another question there. Yeah. It's just, I just like teaching people. I do. And as far, and so when I'm teaching, I mean, if you watch my videos and if you're here, you've probably seen some of them. If it feels like I'm just genuinely kind of talking to a person who's sitting next to me, that's truly how I picture it. I just absolutely picture talking to y'all about this thing that I understand and I'm excited for you to understand it, even if it's a dumb thing, so you can understand why I think it's dumb, like the SE Linux video that I'll be doing. I should have already done and I haven't done yet. I'm gonna be really clear that I just dislike SE Linux. But when I explain why I dislike it and you understand it and you whether you might like it, you might dislike it, but you'll understand why I feel the way I do. I don't know. That just it gives me joy. So yeah, that's the thing. Some Python stuff would be cool. Yeah. Oh, as far as like what to do otherwise, yeah. I could do some programming stuff. It is not my forte. My forte is truly problem solving. Like if I had to say, Sean, what if somebody said, you know, Sean, what is your best skill? I actually probably wouldn't say Linux administration. I would say that I'm a really good problem solver. And a lot of times the best solution to the problems that I come across happen to be Linux solutions. But I mean, you know, I worked at a school where it was mostly Macintosh. I worked at a school, you know, where it was, I mean, I was in charge of a Microsoft database department. Really just problem solving is what I enjoy doing. And Linux is just the most arrows in my quiver. So that, yeah, that probably wasn't even a question. Oh, admin related stuff. Yeah. So I'll try to come up with the way that I learn is best by doing. So if I can come up with projects to do, I think that'll make for better videos and a better way of learning. Python, yeah, Python is handy. It's a little more finicky about syntax, and maybe it's just that I'm less familiar with the syntax. So I've run into the thing where I've had copy and pasted code in some of its tabs and some of its spaces, and so that was a nightmare trying to sort that out. Um, I find that Python is more powerful and a little bit tougher to get right, if that makes sense, than PHP. I like PHP because you make web pages, right? That's the output is web pages. That's why I like PHP so much because the interface is a web browser just right there. So anyway, is there a way to copy and paste from a host VM box CLI without using tools? Yes. To virtual machine. So usually this comes down to the virtualization platform, and if you have their guest editions installed, that's usually what it is. If you have guest editions installed, you can usually paste. If it's CLI Linux only, though, you might have to. You would. It would depend on, again, on the virtualization platform. Like if you are using Proxmox and you connect using their Spice terminal to a VM, you can copy and paste in that, I think. But yeah, it really depends on the platform. So I'm going to say yes, but it can be. Um, so maybe VMbox. This might be a tool I'm not familiar with. And is VMbox the actual tool? Only works on GNU. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Usually it has to do with whatever platform that you're using, though. So maybe I don't know the answer to that. Red. Yeah, I don't know. And like I said before, the whole current Red Hat situation, I don't even know what's happening there. I haven't looked at Red Hat certification in several years. So the last time I did it, it felt like it was before Linux Plus split off. It felt like LPIC 1 kind of stuff, but specific to Red Hat. Like it was rather than LPIC 1 saying like this is the software that we're going to be configuring. When I was doing the Red Hat course, it was like this is how we are configuring our Red Hat server to do stuff, which makes sense. I mean, it's a Red Hat specific thing, but it wasn't any more difficult. It was just it was a challenge for me because Red Hat's never my first go-to thing. So after I finish Linux Plus, I will look at the Red Hat certification objectives next to see like what is in there, and I mean I could use actual RHEL to do the training. I think you're allowed to do that. I have to look up to see if I can actually. I know I can use RHEL like up to a dozen or 15 licenses without paying, but I don't know if I can do that with training because they have their own training. I'll have to look. I'm a little less worried as a YouTuber than I was as a CBT Nuggets employee, but I'll have to look to make sure I'm not like doing anything that Red Hat will be mad at me for. But I will look at the objectives because yeah, that's I get of all the content people request of me, Red Hat cert prep stuff is highest on the list, and it might be because companies like CBT Nuggets really struggle legally to be able to create content specifically for that. So I'll have to look into it. From what I've seen, Linux and RHEL both intertwine a bit. Oh, like the actual testing process is more hands-on. That very well could be the case too. I've never sat for the Red Hat test. I mean, I did a course on it to cover all the objectives, but I never did sit for one of their tests. I know, Blight Moose. It's already. I'm looking at the time. It's like, dang, for an hour of like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I don't have anything to talk about. Once we start talking about nerdy Linux stuff, it seems to go quickly. So, yeah, I will look at the Red Hat. Is the RHCSA, is that there's like, are there still two like Red Hat Certified System Administrator and then Red Hat Certified System Engineer? Is that still a thing where there's like the like he used to be CCNA and CCNP or whatever for Cisco. Is that still? I think the certified system administrator is still like the lowest one. Yeah. Okay. Correct. So yeah, I'll look at the exam and see I mean, I did a course before, and I had four CBT nuggets, and we were really cryptic about it. Like I called it the CentOS course and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Engineer super heavy and Ansible. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that makes sense because I mean they own Ansible now. Um, so we'll see. So okay, I know we're about done here, but this answers the question. So if you sit for the exam, is it all like on a system? Well, so you're like literally just solving problems on the system? Okay. Okay. Um, that is how the Linux Foundation exam was, but it was, I mean, you've heard me complain about that. I hated it so much. It crashed constantly. And this will be my final gripe. The Linux Foundation, there's two of them there too. Whatever the first Linux Foundation one was, it was a whole, you like logged in to this proctored test and like you had to use your video camera to like show that nobody was in the room with you and stuff. And the interface did not have tab complete. Like you couldn't hit tab a couple times to complete like a path. And the path names were random characters. So like you'd have like, you have to edit files in like random folder name, random folder name, random folder name, and the files were in there. But when you're like moving them and copying them and editing them on the command line, you couldn't use tab complete. So you literally had to type the entire thing out every time, and it crashed constantly. I just hated it so much. But if it's a thing where you go to a testing center and actually use a rel box, then yeah, that would be interesting. I'll have to look. Maybe I'll have to sit for the test just so I know. Yeah, well, I think it's they probably did do it online with one of those proctored situations, which is always unsettling. You have somebody on the, watching you the whole time. But I'll look into it. I promise I will look into it. And Trey, and Trey's a Patreon subscriber, right? So you got not quite a leash on me, but I wanna do good by us. So on that note, it's already time. We're done. I don't know what's going to happen as far as the Kyle interview goes. It may not happen, so it may not premiere next Sunday. So if you don't hear anything, there may just not be a video at all. Maybe I'll post a video of the cabin, like just take some video showing off the cabin and the island, having nothing to do with Linux. Maybe I'll put it on the other channel. So if you're not subscribed to my other channel, subscribe to that one, Inside the Brain of Sean, and I'll try to post some stuff there. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and chatting with me and helping me make this hour-long thing not just last an hour, but dang it, we could keep going now. I don't have an answer to this. If anybody has an answer for Disasteron, a good project so you can show it off to a company. Birdcam. I did a lot of cool stuff with my bird cam, but yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you in 2 weeks, if nothing else. But yeah, watch for videos somewhere. I'll take videos of like, I plan on going fishing, and there's like a boat and there's an island and a cabin. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Have a great week, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Awkward time where Sean tries to find the stop button in stream. Yes, I'm sure. Okay.